Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week we're taking a look at the Lobster Thermidor from the Lego Batman movie. Now, obviously Batman is just heating up some leftovers in a microwave, which doesn't make for a great episode, but it got me thinking, can I make this old world fine dining classic entirely in a microwave? Or as Batman would probably call it, the Bat-wave. So we're going to start with 2 lobster tails, and we're going to separate the meat from the shell, snipping out the sort of membrane underneath, flipping it open like a Motorola razor, and gently pulling out the meat. I was trying to keep it in one piece for some reason. Doesn't really matter because we're going to chop it up anyway. Rinse and repeat with the second tail, and now we're going to steam both the meat and the shells separately in the microwave. First up, the shells, which I'm going to place in obviously a microwave safe bowl. Cover with a plate, try and fail to put it in the microwave. Make sure the spinny plate thing is installed correctly. Shut it down and cook for anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes depending on the power of your microwave. I've never used this microwave before, so I'm going to put it on half power to see how many horses are under the hood. I'm also going to add a couple tablespoons of water because that's going to help the shells more effectively steam. And this is a great place to start because you can't really overcook shells. The only thing we don't want them to be is undercooked, so just make sure that they're bright red and steaming hot. Set aside to cool because now it's time to deal with the much more touchy stuff. I'm cutting the lobster meat into evenly sized chunks so that they cook evenly. Then I'm melting 3 tablespoons of butter in the microwave, of course, pouring it over the lobster meat and mixing to evenly coat. This is going to effectively butter poach our lobster, which we're going to cover with a plate and start nuking at 30-second intervals on half power. After each 30 seconds, we're going to try haplessly to get it out of the microwave, give it a stir, and check the meat is not overheating. I can't conscionably tell you how long to do this for because all microwaves are different, but we want to just barely bring it over the finish line of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. If anything, cook it until the meat registers 130, give it a sniff, cover it up with a plate, and let the carryover heat bring it over the finish line. Now, I was certain that this was going to come out bad, bouncy, slippery over firm, but to my disbelief, it was basically really gently butter poached, so it was actually stunningly tender, juicy, and soft. So now we're going to set aside the lobster and use this butter to build our sauce, doing the microwave equivalent of sauteing 1 small finely minced shallot by cooking for 45-second intervals on high power. Now this is a sauce traditionally thickened with a roux, which again to my disbelief is pretty easy to emulate in a microwave. Starting with a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, to which I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Whisk until completely smooth and set aside. Then we're going to treat our butter shallot mixture the same way we would on the stovetop, adding 1 clove of finely minced garlic and quote-unquote sauteing for an additional 30 seconds. Then while it's nice and hot, we're going to thicken it using our cream and flour mixture, slowly streaming in while mixing constantly so that no lumps form, which basically brings it to the stage of a bechamel before it's cooked and thickened. I'm also going to add about 2/3 cup of seafood stock. Then I'm going to microwave this guy 30 seconds at a time on high power, whisking thoroughly each time until we have a beautifully thickened sauce. Unbelievably easy compared to the stovetop version. Now all there is left to do is finish flavoring. 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of sweet paprika. And because it's not a good idea to microwave alcohol, I'm just going to add the tiniest splash of brandy to inform the flavor. Then while things are still nice and hot, it's time for one last hit of richness. 1 large egg yolk, which we're going to temper by adding some of the hot mixture while whisking constantly. Then whisk the sauce constantly while adding the egg back to the bowl. And what results is an impossibly rich, flavorful, smooth, delicious, and beautiful sauce. Now Lobster Thermidor is usually topped off with Gruyere cheese. I'm going to add a little bit to the sauce just to make things extra awesome before chopping up and adding our lobster meat. Now I should say that Lobster Thermidor usually contains mushrooms as well, but this came out so shockingly good that I didn't want to potentially ruin it with mushy microwaved mushrooms. Also, the actual reason is that I forgot. Anyway, to finish our Lobster Thermidor, we're filling a bowl with rock salt, which is going to act as a substrate upon which we can prop up our lobster shells, which we're then going to generously pile full of our lobster mixture, piling as much as we can of the poor creature into its own carcass, and topping with grated Gruyere. Now this is the stage where Alfred would have covered and fridged the lobster tails so that Batman could reheat them later. So now that we're home from a long, lonely day of fighting crime without a sidekick, it's time to reheat, and just for the hell of it, I'm going to do 1 in the microwave, zapping for about 2 minutes on medium power until piping hot and the cheese is melted, and the other the traditional way under a broiler, 2 to 3 minutes or until the cheese is melted and browned. Top with a little bit of freshly chopped tarragon, an essential flavor in this dish, and there you have it, microwave Lobster Thermidor. It lacks the nice brown spotting of the broiler, but what does it taste like? Well, first off, it's got a real nice cheese pull, and second, it's amazing. The lobster is super moist and tender, and the lack of Maillard on the cheese isn't bothering me one bit. By contrast, the broiler lobster is overcooked and rubbery. I might have fired it a little bit too long, but it seems to me that the microwave is the champ of both cooking and reheating lobster, which is fitting because one of the morals of the movie is to not judge nor underestimate a book by its cover. See the relationship between Will Arnett's Batman and Michael Cera's Robin. But the other moral of the movie is to reach out and connect with others rather than go it alone. So to make legit old-fashioned Lobster Thermidor, I've decided to assemble my very own Lobster Justice League. And if this is Bruce Wayne's Lobster Thermidor, I want to get the absolute best. So I've traveled to the city that was the original inspiration for Gotham, Boston, which is halfway to Maine, where this very morning, Captain Kurt, famous lobsterman and personal lobsterman to Batman himself, harvested the very largest lobster he was legally allowed to take from Mother Ocean. Please welcome, all the way from Maine, Captain Kurt.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Look at that. That is the largest lobster we can legally harvest in the state of Maine right there.
Well, I thank you very much for getting it for me. Tell me a little bit about this lobster. What's its name?
This is just a big honking boy lobster right here that was crawling on the bottom of the ocean this morning and is now right here for dinner.
Now, how do you know it's a boy? Show me its genitalia.
Right here, you flip it over, and if you look right there, you see that?
I mean, it looks like two legs. What I would give, right, fellas?
I know. Hey-o.
Now, I have a couple questions about lobsters, because I've only ever killed one, and I hated it.
Yeah, understood.
I'm a weak man, so I don't like.
I'm picking up on that.
No. Well, what's the most humane way to kill a lobster?
Well, I'm also a marine biologist, so I recognize that lobsters have the nervous system equivalent of a tiny bug, and so I think either cooling them off before or a knife right through the head is probably the most humane way to do it. But honestly, I just put them in a pot of steaming water, boiling water, and it's pretty quick that way too. So you can't really go wrong.
Now tell me a little bit about the lobster's anatomy. There's stuff you gotta take out. There's tamale, there's roe sometimes. Yep. Walk me through it.
There's all kinds of good stuff. Obviously you got the claws and knuckles, and there's plenty of meat in there. That is my favorite part of the lobster to dig into. Then of course you have the tail. Then you got legs. There's 8 of them on the lobster. You can cook those and just roll them out. Nice meat in the tail flippers as well.
There's meat in the tail flippers.
Yes, plenty of meat right in the flippers right there. You pick each one of those off and there is a nice little delicious morsel of meat in there.
The tamale, I've heard that there is some risk associated with eating the tamale from lobsters on the East Coast. What's the deal there?
So tamale is essentially the liver of the lobster. I don't eat it personally. I don't think there's a lot of risk involved there. My grandmother loved to eat the tamale of a lobster on crackers, and she lived till 99 years old. So I think you're all right.
That's what I'm learning, is if I just smoke cigarettes and drink, a bottle of wine a day and eat all the worst things in the world, I'm gonna live until forever.
Live forever.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. We're marine biologists, so he knows.
That's right.
Check out Captain Kurt's Ready Seafood in the link in the video description. Thank you so much for bringing this all the way from Maine.
No
Appreciate
problem.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for staying in uniform.
Absolutely. This is how I rock it right here. All day long. Batman's Lobster Man right here.
Keep fighting crime. Or tell him to keep fighting crime. You keep fighting lobsters.
I'll fight the lobsters, he can fight crime. We'll be good to go.
Circle of life. So I am a form of Buddhist. More accurately, I'm a pantheist. I believe that the entire whole of existence is God, and that there is no differentiation between me and you, that all of existence is one uninterrupted singularity, and that I cannot kill this lobster without killing a part of myself. Or something. So I need a roiling cauldron of unexpressed rage and murderous intent. And I could think of nobody better than the one and only Nick DiGiovanni.
I feel like that's really offensive.
That's what you told me to say. I am going to ask, or rather beg, that you dispatch it, because here's the thing.
Dispatch it?
I can't even say it.
I'm not a UPS delivery driver.
Oh, that's nice. You're tucking them in.
I don't get pleasure in killing lobsters.
Yeah, I'm sorry to infer that you did. What I'm doing is projecting. Like I said, I don't believe in differentiation between you and me. I think that we're effectively the same organism.
You just want me to kill the lobster, right?
Yeah. I don't want to do it. I did it once and I had nightmares. It still haunts. It haunts me still. Every night.
You're good?
No, I've never been good.
What do you mean?
No, never in my life have I been good, but we're still doing it. What? General anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder. I'm on 4 different drugs just to get through the day. Let's kill this thing. You kill this thing. Fare thee well, noble creature. Oh, he squirted. Oh. Did you get your release? Do you feel satisfaction? Well, thank you, Nick.
So for Thermidor, we'll cut the whole lobster in half.
Let's vivisect them.
Yep. I should be able to get it straight down the middle.
Why is it still moving? Went into my mouth. Oh, there's the goo. Now, is this the tamale right here? What is that?
That's a tamale.
Okay.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we'll discard. So you're a lobster lover. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your favorite part of the lobster?
Claw meat.
Nice.
And the tamale. I'll dip the claw meat in the tamale.
That sounds good.
My biggest pet peeve when anyone cooks lobster is if they leave the rubber bands on.
Yeah.
Why would you ever steam a lobster with rubber in there?
Yeah, surely that can't be good for
disgusting.
flavor. That's bad.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting and sinful.
Just don't do it.
Come on, don't do it.
Seriously.
Listen to Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm a cold-blooded killer.
Sick. Need one of those on my side. Except Batman doesn't kill. That's one rule. Remember what the Joker said? Mm-mm. Tonight, you're gonna break your one rule. He was being choked at the time. So, sick. So let's talk about Lobster Thermidor. Lobster Thermidor is a very decadent, old world dish. Basically, we par cook the lobster, scoop out the meat, make a decadent sauce of bechamel and tempered egg yolks and tarragon and mushrooms and shallots and garlic and brandy. And then we mix that, chop up the meat, mix it up with the sauce, put it back in the shell, cover with Gruyere and Parmesan, broil, profit.
You have a perfectly broken down lobster that's been cut in half. It's ready for you.
Worth coming all the way to Boston for, I gotta say. Fantastic.
Is this a nice setup for you?
Beautiful.
Good.
Thank you very much. Oh. Yeah. Come here. Give me that. Do you want to? Are you gonna boil these or are you gonna roast them? What are you gonna do?
Steam.
Steam. Okay.
Boil them.
I'm
gonna par cook this and I'm gonna remove all the meat for you.
Thank you, Nick.
That's correct, right?
Thank you, Batman.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Batman.
Stop calling me Batman.
Thank you, Bruce. I'm Joker. I call Joker. Called it. Joker's the coolest.
To clarify. Clarified butter.
Nice. Just to clarify, he's gonna clarify butter. Wait, what are you gonna do with the clarified butter?
To clarify, no, there's no clarified butter involved.
Oh, Batman's a trickster.
To clarify, I'm gonna par cook this, take out all the meat, I'm gonna give you the meat, and you will do the rest.
Clear as butter. That's been clarified. While you're doing that, I'm gonna get started on the sauce.
Sounds great.
Okay. Bye. He's got squirrely energy today. What's he doing? He just ran off without a word. So, that's all show. He's showing off right now.
All my lids are in here. Nailed it.
Is that what you call them? We'll be right back. What I do want to do is, I'm going to wait until you're done cooking to do the sauce because I want to use the claw shells to fortify the stock.
Very smart. Very smart.
Seafood stock's usually pretty gross. Wonder what this tastes like. Fine, Steve. We'll drink a cap full of it. It's not very good. Really watery. Has a mild seafood flavor. Nick's just doing home improvement over here.
This is nice, huh?
I'm having a good time, yeah.
Lobster's going in to par cook.
Nice.
Just steam it for just a short bit. There we go.
Farewell, Frank.
Frank, do you want some, put some celery in it?
No, you were drinking that.
Who cares?
I don't know what you did with this. What is
Just
it?
a stock.
What is that stuff floating in it? I would eat that raw right now, even though he just had his mouth. He was just sucking on those and spitting them back into the jar. All right, thank you for that. That's gonna make the difference. How long do these go for?
To par cook?
Yeah.
How much are you gonna cook it after?
They're just gonna get broiled. So,
Oh, so we need to cook it
yeah, pretty much.
most of the way.
Yeah.
I would give it another 6 minutes.
Okay. Should I set a timer? Or you just,
No,
this is,
I got it.
wow. Do you have an internal timer?
Mostly.
Okay, that's good enough for me when it comes to shellfish.
No,
Understand a little bit.
this I could cook in my sleep. Lobster is obviously a very nice food and ingredient that's hard to get in most places, but if you live in Boston or Maine or anywhere here, it's not as hard to get. You know, you can pull up to a lobsterman, like on the water. Like I've done this before in a kayak, and you can give them $20 and they'll give you a few lobster.
Whoa.
And it's crazy. What's nice about par cooking it like this is I can literally just watch the meat and just see when it's done.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll know right when it's done. I can just poke it like a steak.
You can see the steaming liquid is already taking on some color from those shells. That's
We're
definitely
actually
gonna make a great
probably
addition.
already getting close.
Poke.
Let me just grab
That
this.
feels cooked.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
Oh, that looks gorgeous.
The claws probably are not cooked fully yet,
All right.
but the actual lobster's good.
Well, no one way to find out. Look at all that fat coming out. That's fat, right? All that goo?
No.
Oh, never mind. Look at all that goo.
What I think we should do is, yeah, you can pour that off into there. Extra flavor. Do you want me to take the meat out?
Yeah, please. That'd be great. All right, let's see how you do this. Whoa. That
at
was
that.
satisfying to watch.
Cooked to perfection right now.
Beautiful.
Not quite fully cooked on the insides here.
And that's perfect because I'm gonna add it to the warm sauce and we'll broil it. It'll take it the rest of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. That's gorgeous.
That's how you test it. You touch it to the lip. See
well, I
what-
mean, just
what-
testing for like the temperature, putting my tongs inside.
That is like a
seconds.
classic chef's test is to shove something in there, touch it to the lips because that's a very sensitive area for temperature. You're gonna be able to feel, is that done?
That'll be some of the freshest lobby that you eat. Good?
It's really good.
Yeah. All right, so now, same
What do
thing.
you call it? Lobby?
Lobby, yeah. I want to keep it nice and whole so that you can show those beautiful red
It's gorgeous.
segments here. So there's that.
Beautiful.
Right? We're good there.
Yep.
And I'll clean these shells out for you even a little bit more so that they're perfect.
Oh, thanks, man.
And then now, the claws we take off. So I want to keep the lobster nice and whole for the Thermidor presentation.
Yeah.
So these we can just reserve off to the side.
Yeah, we can take those
This'll
off and
sit
salt
like
them.
that.
Yep.
So these I'll clean off after. I feel like I'm just doing all the work. You've done nothing. You used pre-made stock and you put onion in it.
Let me do this.
You said you didn't know how.
I'll figure it out.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Boom, look at that.
Yeah, buddy. Let's
there.
see it. Oh, yeah.
So see, you can just tell right away.
Yeah,
That's not done. That takes longer to cook.
that's cool. Whoa. That got some distance. Flop. Cute.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's huge. That'll give a ton of flavor, so let's just put
Yeah,
that in
just
there.
toss it in.
All right, let's watch you do it.
This is gonna suck because you're gonna be mean.
You need leverage. You need like you need to crack into the hard part of the claw, which is going to be closer to there, as opposed to up there, much softer. A little too high. Not going to work.
Try again. There?
Yep.
Too low?
Try that. I mean, you didn't get deep enough, but flip it upside down.
Sky.
Flip it upside down.
No.
Oh,
That
you
deep
cut it
enough?
off.
Very expert job
boy.
that I'm doing right now.
Oh no.
Look, it's very perfect what I'm doing. Yoink. Yoink. Come here.
Just tap down over your hand like.
Like this?
Yep.
Oh, appetizing. Okay, we got another shell to shove. And now this guy. Wait, how'd you do this guy?
Did you watch?
No. That's the thing with lobster. You just have to keep yanking at it until something happens. That's all you gotta do.
All you gotta do is just shove a finger in. And you just gotta, there you go.
Just to be a badass. I'm gonna let that go for like 10 minutes just to really pull out some of that flavor. But with shellfish, I find no more than an hour, like you're not gonna get any more flavor out of it. Usually just kind of comes out pretty fast. All right, while Nick so kindly continues to clean out the lobster carcasses, I'm going to start doing something for once and chop up the lobster meat and get the sauce going. And I want, big honking bite-sized pieces. This is not like, choppa. Like, I want something that like when you grab a piece of it, this is a solid forkful. There we go. What else do I gotta do? I'm gonna smash and roughly chop these garlic cloves a little bit. The easiest way to break down a garlic clove quickly is to just like give it a really solid whack and then just run your knife through it a little bit. It's not gonna finely mince it, but we don't necessarily need that. This is an extremely chunky kind of filling with all the lobster chunks and the mushrooms and everything, so some little chunks of garlic isn't gonna bother anybody. Just to preempt things, I'm gonna strain this stock that we have so fortified with all that lobster shell goodness. That is gonna taste a hell of a lot better. I wanna taste some because I tried some of the stuff out of the box. And it tastes like cat piss. So, oh, way better. It actually tastes like seafood. It's great. I have here, it looks like 3 tablespoons, actually more like 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm probably gonna add about 2 cups of stock. You wanna go with about a tablespoon each fat and flour per cup of liquid to make a nice thick bechamel-like sauce. We're also gonna be adding cream that's gonna help thicken things up. So really very few ways that this is gonna go horribly wrong.
I'm just watching your videos in the background.
What? I'm right here, dude. You don't have to watch videos of me. I'm right here.
I like having them edited.
Nick is savage. He's one of the most savagely funny people. Butter's nice and melted and foamy. Gonna add 1 small finely minced shallot. Now normally I wouldn't add shallots and garlic right up front because I have to cook the mushrooms. So they would, you know, potentially burn. But because mushrooms are full of water, they're gonna basically excrete a ton of liquid that is going to prevent things from burning. They're not gonna start crisping up for a while. So that will insulate the garlic and shallot from getting burnt. We're adding quite a bit of mushrooms because they do cook down quite a bit. I added a little pinch of salt that's gonna help draw out the moisture. I'm gonna give them a flip because I wanna get all those shallots and garlic off the bottom of the pan. I want them to be exposed to the heat. Things are looking a little dry right now, but these are about to start pissing moisture into the pan. We're gonna let those cook until all the moisture is released. Then once that moisture is evaporated, then they're gonna start to brown. That's when we flambe, that's when we start thickening. That's when the party begins. We'll be right back.
Oh my God.
There we go. You see how the mushrooms, they're starting to get wet? That's gonna cook off. These mushrooms are not gonna brown until all that liquid cooks off. So don't get antsy in your pantsy. Nick and I played mini golf last night.
Everybody thought we were on a date, and I didn't correct them.
And Nick used his real name on the sign up, so it was on all the screens. But to answer your question, who won? I managed to squeak by the first round by a couple points.
Yep.
That awakened a centuries-old bloodlust in Nick. Like I'm talking ancestral, inherited
bad,
rage. And he completely handed my ass to me in the next 2 rounds. Just to assert dominance, show me who's boss. All right, those look like they're almost out of moisture because they're starting to really sizzle, which means that they're actually starting to Maillard brown a little bit. We just want them to barely start picking up color.
Smells really good in here. Smells really good.
I mean, shallot, garlic, nothing
How
better
about
in
this?
this world.
How about we both do a flambe? You go first, I'll go second. We'll see who has better form. The audience will judge.
Yeah, comment below once this is done. Who did better fire? You need the pan pretty hot when you flambe because you want the alcohol to instantly aerosolize, get in the air.
All right.
I'm pretty bad at
Here's
this,
yours.
so yeah, you
Okay.
step back.
All right, here's yours. Okay.
Top that.
You have no idea. You have no idea what's coming.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What did that do? I already did mine. I can't steal from you. You can tell me.
Yeah, just wait. I was giving space for the alcohol to go in between.
Shit. Way better. Way better.
I think adding the extra space between all the mushrooms and then getting it just slightly crisp up and really hot, it just, and with that, I will hand this back to you,
Thanks, dude.
to the master.
Well, you just won the flambe competition, so. All right, show off. Time to make this into a sauce. Oh yeah, it smells like brandy. We got, the brandy is boiled off. Now there's just the fat sizzling the bottom of the pan. I'm adding an equivalent, roughly equivalent of flour. So, you know, I put in about 2.5 tablespoons of butter, so that's about 2.5 tablespoons of flour. This is kind of like the easy way to make a thickened sauce. Like this is not a roux because you've got these vegetables in here that basically get covered with a kind of paste of flour. And then when you add the liquid, they more gradually, you know, release the paste into the liquid. so that way you're not ending up with lumps and clumps and crap like that. So now I've got that in there. Just to be safe, I am gonna whisk it. I've got our semi-homemade with Sandra Lee stock. Bring some of that in, and some more. Get all that stuff off the bottom. You do not want to do what I'm doing with a non-stick pan. This is a hex-clad pan, so it can take it. But if you go non-stick, either use a rubber whisk or just don't do this. Just don't make this. Nice and thick. And I'm basically, this is a no recipe. We're not following any recipe here. We're just following our hearts. You know? That's what led Nick and I to one another. Give this a taste, see where it's at. It's not gonna be anywhere near where we want it to be, but quite salty. I think that seafood stock was salted heavily. But that's fine because we're about to add a whole bunch of richness, some acid. It's gonna be absolutely fine. Turning this down because it is pretty much the texture I want it to be. That's really nice and thick. Now, to both thicken and add a whole bunch of richness and fat to this situation, I'm gonna make a mixture of egg yolk and heavy cream. 1 egg yolk. That looks like about a cup of sauce-ish, so I'm probably gonna do half of that in cream, so about a half cup of cream. Yeah, about half by volume. I'm gonna whisk this together. There we go. So now we have an egg yolk and heavy cream mixture. Now, if I just pour this in here, it's gonna scramble. It's gonna coagulate. It's gonna be gross. So what I'm gonna do is, while whisking, add a little bit of this hot stuff in there, like that. Just a bit, a couple drops at a time. It's all going in the same place. I know it looks kind of gross, but it's gonna end up pretty awesome. Now what that's doing is tempering the eggs. It doesn't make the egg yolk scramble proof, but now I can add it right into a hot pan and not worry about it coagulating. Right in, whisk, 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 and keep this over bare minimum heat. You could probably bring it to a very mild simmer, but if you cook it too hard, you could split it. So now, I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice, and I'm gonna do some lemon zest. This is ridiculous. I don't need that, I'm a chef. You can just squeeze the lemon into your hand, gently let the juice drip through your fingers, am I right, fellas? And catch the seeds.
What?
Some fresh ground, some FGP. And am I forgetting anything? This is what happens when I don't use a recipe. I'm like, what did I forget? It's not did I forget anything, it is what did I forget? Because I for sure forgot something. Tarragon. Herbs, there it is. Fair amount here, probably a heaping tablespoon's worth of the stuff. I'm also gonna kill the heat now because I don't want to cook the herbs. They're gonna cook a little bit in the oven, and you know, if you cook them, it denatures them a little bit. You don't get as strong and bright and wonderful of a flavor. There we go, there's our tarragon. That's really gonna balance things out. I'm gonna do some parsley too. We're also gonna finish with parsley, but might as well incorporate some.
It smells so good in here. Oh yeah, that's delicious.
Thanks, man.
You thought it was too salty?
It was before, but I added the cream and stuff. I think it flattened it out.
Yeah, it's not salty.
Yeah.
It's not too salty at all.
Yeah, no, it's just right. Especially now we add the lobster meat. It might even need a
my
little
God.
more salt.
That's incredible.
Just a pinch.
You're good.
God, you make good salt. Look at that salt.
Good at
It's
cooking.
like freshly fallen snow. You're good at cooking.
You are so good at cooking. That is so good. Like really good.
Thanks, man.
It's really, really nice. And the fresh tarragon,
Tarragon
that makes it.
is where it's
Wow.
at. Yeah, that little bit of licorice
Damn.
flavor.
That is fantastic.
This is nice and warm. Let's add our lobster meat to it. Fold that in. Okay, there is our lobster filling. Now to try it with some lobster in there. What's that gonna taste like? Good shit. Now, I have these very professionally and beautifully cleaned lobster shells, and I'm going to arrange them in a 69 sort of orientation. I can't do that, can I? Guess I can't. Oh, you know what I want to do? Oh, nice. Thank you.
Hell.
This is how you do business? Now, I've been wanting to do this trick for a while. I recently did this with some marrow bones. Whenever you have something like this, like a lobster half, marrow bone, whatever, okay, it looks fine. but you do have parts over here, like this part is banking hard this way. You might have stuff fall out. You might not be able to fill it as high. So what I want to do, let's place these lobsters cut side down like this. Now, I'm gonna take a fair amount of heavy-duty aluminum foil, scrunch it in around the lobsters like this. Try to really mold it to them. Now grab another pan and flip it. And boom, we have what's basically a custom cavity for our lobsters that hold them perfectly upright. That was a genuine cooking trick. This show isn't all Tom all the time. Now, we restuff the lobster's corpse with its own entrails. Scoop that in there. I'm gonna try to get as much as I possibly can in here. Stuff this guy as full as he will get. Just see how much you can stuff. Leave no crevice unstuffed. There we go. We just need some grated Gruyere cheese. Cheese and seafood is kind of an odd combination to me, but it works in some contexts, like lobster mac and cheese, obviously.
Yep.
And this, like it really works with this.
Wow.
And we finish it off with some Parmigiano Reggiano.
Should bleep that for any Italians.
Parmigiano Reggiano. Some men, Master White, just want to watch the world burn. All right, we're drizzling with butter, just to say f you. All right, good drizzle of butter. This is not a light dish. And into a preheated 450-degree Fahrenheit oven it goes, with convection preferably, until golden brown and bubbly. We'll see you right after this. All right, I'm gonna put it towards the top too, because then the radiative heat off the top of the oven will help to brown things. I want this to cook as quickly as possible. I don't want to break the sauce. I don't want to overcook the lobster. I want to have a good time. Here we go.
Andrew, can I ask you a serious question?
No. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you have to like shave your head?
You better believe it.
What?
I shaved it this morning.
Did you really?
Touch.
So you have to.
Smooth as a baby's hole.
So you do have to like shave it like as frequently as you have to shave your facial hair?
Yes.
Wow.
And
I never knew that.
yeah, no, it kind of sucks.
Is it annoying?
It's very annoying.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, especially when I'm like traveling. I don't have like all my products and
How do
shit.
you see like in the mirror? You just turn your head?
I gotta feel it. Just gotta feel the grit.
Wow. Back to the lobster.
Yeah, back to work.
Wow. Dang.
Beautiful. I'm going to just tuck some parsley in between these guys just to fill out the plate a little bit. It's just
Beautiful.
grab the space with a bunch of lemons.
Do you want more herbs or no, you good?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
This is just for a little last flourish.
This is amazing.
Last but not least,
Pepper cannon.
a little PC. There you have it. Lobster Thermidor, Batman style.
You could go Batman style.
You know, Batman? I don't know how you're supposed to eat this. I guess we just dig in. Let's go.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Woo.
Ooh, boy.
It's amazing.
Dig it?
Oh, it's amazing. It's incredibly, every bite. Look at the, if I put my hand in here and scoop this, watch. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at that. It's insane.
And it's just replete with cream and
Oh my God.
cheese.
You just regurgitate that and then eat it again?
Regurgitate's a strong word.
What's really nice about it is that normally with seafood, I appreciate seafood simple and really untouched
Yeah.
and unadulterated. But this is like just the right amount of stuff to it. It's not overpowering at all. Like people say it all the time, oh, it's not overpowering. This is really not overpowering.
That's good to hear.
And the cheese is like just right on the top. It's perfect.
Thanks, man.
amazing.
I'm very happy with this because, like you
So
said,
good.
seafood should be kind of undisturbed. It's like good steak. I don't put stuff on steak. You just cook it. You eat it. And with this, it's adding to the conversation. All the herbs and all the cognac. There's a lot of cognac in there because we decided to have it measuring competition.
Yeah.
And I think definitely because we reused the shells, helped bolster the stock. It added more lobster flavor to all those juices, to the sauce.
Yeah.
And the mushrooms are just hanging out.
This is like the lobster version of beef Wellington.
Whoa.
Did you add some extra lemon on yours?
I sprinkled the whole thing. Oh. Well, now I have to do it because. That was a move of somebody who's done that before a lot. How'd you know? To cover my eyes.
This is phenomenal. Best lobster thermidor I've ever had.
Isn't this the only lobster?
Yeah. And it's incredible. It's very well rounded. Again, it's not overpowering. It's just very lobstery. There's plenty of lobster in there. Normally, I feel like at a restaurant they might try to add all sorts of stuffing and just kind of rip you off.
Yeah.
This is legit.
Thanks, man. I mean this extremely literally. I could not have done it without you. Are you about to chug that juice?
If you don't believe me about the juice, that's how juicy every bite is. It's really hard to describe without seeing that. Like every time you put your fork in, there's just endless juice dripping off of this stuff.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me, man. Thank you for killing this thing so we could eat it. Let's have some lunch. Steve, get in here, eat some. Stop feeding me. You're feeding me your murder victim. Not many people can say they've been fed and juiced by Nick DiGiovanni.
Okay.
What?
Cut.